Hi guys, welcome to my updated collection video. I've been meaning to make this for a while actually, but just haven't had the time and I've wanted to clean up and well, I got some of that done. Not as much as I would have probably liked, but I have gotten quite a bit of cleaning done in the last week. It's looking better than it has for a while, so we're going to go with it. This here, we'll start here, and I want to start by saying actually before I start here, couple things are actually in my bedroom. We're not going to see that, but my GameCube's hooked up in there. I don't use it very often because I play on my Wii, the GameCube games mostly, but I have one. As well as my 3DS, my PSP, those are in there as well, just the systems. Anyway, with that said, on we go. This is my main TV. I use it for my current gen stuff, like my 360, my PS3, and my Wii. Those are what's hooked up to this. Up here, we have actually the Wii sensor bar and my Kinect. Down here we have my 360, as well as a charger for my 360 battery packs. There is a Wii controller sitting there, and there is my PS3 with Wreck-It Ralph sitting on top, because I was watching that recently actually. That's a ceramic elephant. I like him. As we move down here, we have my Wii on top of my DVR. A couple of Wavebirds attached to it, that's what I use mostly to play it. In here, so we'll keep my extra stuff. We've got a Game Gear, a Game Boy Color, a DS that I don't use because I play on my 3DS. None of this stuff gets used that often, which is why it's down here. There's my Game Gear and Neo Geo Pocket Color games right there. And there's my Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, all of that games in there. Some good ones. You can see Metroid 2, DuckTales, Kirby, Spyro, Zelda, Pokemon. You know, a whole bunch of stuff. There's Kid Icarus, Burger Time, I love that game. There's Fire Emblem in there, more Pokemon, Tales of Fantasia, you know, more Game Gear. Lots of good stuff in here. Come over here, we have my couch. It's a big old section. Well, it's kind of too big and needs to be cleaned up. There's my cat. Say hi, cat. She doesn't want to say hi. That's my phone case I had to take my phone out of because it was getting in the way. And my laptop. 360 controller. There's my other cat. Say hi, Moon. She doesn't want to either. She's mad at me because she went to the groomers earlier. That's my GPS on top, but this is where I keep my controllers for current gen stuff. A couple PS3, you know, some 360s. So, nunchuck in there. Yeah. Onward to the meat of the collection. This is my retro station, which will soon, we're moving pretty soon, and it's going to actually go into, I'm going to have a game room in the new house, which I'm pretty psyched for. That's my pile of boxes, and that bottom box is actually filled with most of my stuff that I have for sale or trade or whatever. Try to keep it away from my main collection, because I don't want to get attached to it, and decide to keep it. The boxes, you know, you never know when you're going to need a good box for shipping. There's a Wii balance board. Basic TV, it works good, except for the fact that it's a flat screen, which means it won't work with the light guns, so I actually need to get something else, but I never want to carry something. Like, I see them for 99 cents at Goodwill all the time, and I'm always like, oh, that'd be a pretty good new one. So then I don't want to carry the giant thing, so I pass on it. NFL Blitz for the N64 sitting out front. I was playing that not long ago, although it should be in with the other 64 games. Maybe we'll put it away in this video. There's my 64 expansion pack you can see in there. And my Super Nintendo, yes, it's yellowed on the bottom. That's pretty much par for the course. Down here we have my Sega Genesis, Sega CD 32X combo. My NES, and my Dreamcast. PS2, TurboGrafx 16, and a Switch box. Whole mess load of cords. A lot of those aren't plugged in. I was going to actually reorder those and fix that all before I did this, but I haven't had time, and I don't know when I'm going to have time, so I didn't. Up here we have an Atari 2600 with an Intellivision underneath it. Intellivision's flat, plus it doesn't get much play, so I'm cool with that being there. Another Genesis, this Model 1 with a power base converter on top. I'll explain that in a minute, yeah. Down here we have an original Xbox, a 3DO, and an Atari Jaguar. Over here we have my primary controller bin, as you might be able to see. Yeah, it's, you know, I actually keep one controller for every system in here. Every system I own has one controller. Yeah. Except for the Intellivision, because the controllers are attached to it. I'm not taking them off to put them in the bin. But that way I can easily access a controller for any system I need without having to search through my primary controller bin, which is right here. Here. If we open this, you'll see I have a ton of controllers in here. You know, arcade sticks, and there's actually a box Genesis controller there. You know, a fishing controller up there. There's several light guns mixed in. Yeah, most of it is, you know, doesn't get a lot of use. Actually, that's my favorite Dreamcast controller, and then maybe I'll switch that out. But, yeah, most of my controllers are in there. So if I have company over, I have to get in there, and that's fine. But I don't get in there all the time or anything this way. Moving on. This is a couple of extra systems. Actually, those N64 controllers are for something I'm selling on eBay. Here's my extra Dreamcast and Genesis. And here's my little handheld bin. I've got my Game Boy Advance SP, my Neo Geo Pocket Color, and a variety of games for all of these systems. Stuff that I want to play or have played, or some of it's just kind of. Yeah, some of it's just kind of stuff that's easy to pick up and play, like Mario 3, which I haven't necessarily played. So I put it in there, but it's an easy one to pick up and play anytime, and it's one of my favorite games, so easy access. Okay, down here we have most of my DVD seasons. They're mostly ordered, but not as well as they could be. Some of them are also my fiance's seasons, so when you see something like a lot of Grey's Anatomy or Gossip Girl or Desperate Housewives, those are hers. Some extra cases for when I need them. I have a lot of stuff that needs casing, actually. Just a matter of getting the time to do it. Some books. Wish I had more room for my books. I have tons of books, both in my parents' house and also in my bedroom here, actually, in a box. We'll start up at the top. We have my Sega Pico up there, which is kind of cool. Box Jaguar converter and box Power Base converter. If you look behind there, you actually see a boxed Dreamcast keyboard. I picked that up recently, and I'm really glad to get that. Up here, you have my 360 collection. I'll try to give you time to really process what's there. Not always the easiest, and there's actually 2 layers here. I hate putting them behind each other, but there's just no option. I have too many games for anything else to have them actually on the shelf. So I got some pretty good stuff. Over here we have the Big Prey kit, which doesn't fit with the other games. There's my Sports Champions PlayStation Move bundle I picked up on the Sears clearance recently. Haven't gotten time to set it up yet, but I'll get to it. My PS3 collection. It's still not huge, but it's getting there. Over here we have my box Genesis games. Up there is my loose 32X. I'll show you some others in a minute, but like up top here we've got Zaxxon's Mother Base, we've got Starfleet, Calibri, Star Wars Arcade, and my 2 Jaguar games, Brutal Sports Football and Syndicate. Over here we have my Sega Saturn collection. A lot of loose discs I've gotten over time. Series Baseball, Virtua Fighter, X-Men, Mortal Kombat. Anyway, down at the bottom here we've got a copy of Albert Odyssey. So that's one of my rare Sega Saturn games. Panzer Dragoon 2, it's Knights, Dragon Force, Panzer Dragoon Saga, they're disc only, but all 4 of those are the 4 discs, and it works great. My 3DS collection, it's getting there. It's a Pikachu SP, which is actually for sale on eBay. A whole ton of DS games. And even more DS games that are loose. Like, let's highlight a couple rarities real quick. Infinite Space. What else we got here? We got a bunch of good stuff. Oh, Dragon Quest V. The World Ends With You. Daisy, I dropped one. That's kind of a rare one, not too bad, but Sands of Destruction, it's getting a little rarer. Harder to find anyway. Robot Tyson, OG Saga, that was a pricey one. Rune Factory 3. The Dark Spire. Ghost Trick. Strange Journey. Suikoden into Your Crease. Okay, we'll move on from that. That gives you a good idea. Down here, we have my Sega CD titles. Some are disc only, but most of them... I have a lot of cases for those. Then there's a couple like... Here's Road Avenger, just disc only. Got a copy of Vi in there somewhere, disc only. I think it's right here, probably. Bunch of disc only games I haven't gotten around to casings. Mostly Xbox and PS1. There's a couple of Dreamcast in there too. A GameCube. That TurboGrafx game's actually a dupe. My small 3DO control section, which you'll note is pretty much all golf games. I have 5 games for the 3DO, and 4 of them are golf games. Just how it worked out. Fantasy Zone The Maze, complete in the box. I've got a few other complete Master System games, but the boxes are put away because I didn't have room for them. Here's the rest of my Master System games. I have nothing great. Super Game Boy, a boxed Wizardry 6, boxed Advance Wars and Circle of the Moon. Here's my PSP collection, which is mostly in cases, but there are a couple of exceptions. Got some good ones. Jeanne d'Arc, Class of Heroes, Brave Story. If you go in the back here, we got Trails in the Sky is amazing. All 3 Persona PSP games, Phantasy Star Portable 2, both the Star Oceans, Tactics Ogre, Wild Arms, a couple of the Ys games. Still missing Oath and Felghana, and, Arc of Nepistum too, but I have that on the PS2. We'll get there. That's everything on this shelf. I actually skipped something I'm going to show you. This is my cartridge bin. I hate my carts having to be in here, but it's the only way right now. This is where actually Blitz should be. I'm not going to dig too deep in there. You can just see a few. Spike McFang, Lufia, Contra, Chrono Trigger, Secret of Evermore, Actraiser 2 back there, R-Type. You know, Donkey Kong. I got a Conquer in here somewhere. I got, Doom 64, Resident Evil 2, F-Zero X, Paper Mario. Oh, but there's Conquer. Mario 64. Quest, that came with the system. Rogue Squadron. Snap. You get the idea. I got most of the good ones. The only game I really feel a need to have that I don't right now is Ogre Battle. Here's my NES collection. It's not amazing, but it's getting better. I got Journey to Silius, Bucky O'Hare, Mega Man 6, Guardian Legend, Super C back there, Rescue Rangers, Little Nemo, Boy and His Blob, Ice Hockey. Some cool ones to have. That's just a NES case that I don't use. Down here we have my 2600 and my Genesis collection. Got some good Genesis games. Not really much in the way of 2600 yet, but Splatterhouse 3, Thunder Force 2, Elysia Dragoon, a bunch of good ones actually. Outrun, Gyarados, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not. Rocket Knight Adventures. I got a bunch in here. Shining Force 2's in here. So is Gunstar Heroes. Still a lot of good ones I need. Oh, and I have... Oh, actually, there's Shining Force 2. I have a boxed Clash at Demon Head in there, too. It's not in great shape, but it's cool to have. Definitely a cool one to have. Okay. And I guess the Super Thunderblade I found in there for Master System can go with the rest of my Master System. Come up here to the Wii. I've got, let's see, Fire Emblem, Fishing Resort is actually kind of cool, Kirby Dream Collection, Last Story, that's in rough shape. That's how it came. I actually got it off Amazon Warehouse deal super cheap because it was like that. Pikmin 2 from the Best Buy sale recently. Sin and Punishment. I got Tales of Symphonia, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, Xenoblade. Over here on the Xbox front, I've got Conquer, The Fatal Frames, Gauntlet Dark Legacy is kind of pricey, actually. Back here, unfortunately, again, 2 layers. Metal Slugs, Panzer Dragoon, Shenmue, Silent Hill, Star Wars Battlefront 2, both the Knights of the Old Republics, Toe Jam and Earl 3. So you might have noticed I am not bothered by, like, Platinum Hits, Greatest Hits, any of that. I don't care. Over here, we got my GameCube games, and as well as some random ones I picked up in a couple of sales. Nothing great back here, although I do have Alien Hominid, Chibi Robo, and a couple other good ones. Custom Robo, Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance, Zelda Collector's Edition, Zelda Four Swords, I got all the Zeldas, except for the Ocarina of Time Master Quest disc. So there's an Ikaruga, both Metroid Primes, Luigi's Mansion, Phantasy Star Online Episode 3, I don't have 1 and 2. Pikmin 2, don't have the first one. Over here on the edge, I got a Mario can there. I just think it's cool. Tales of Symphonia. Nothing too pricey or anything. A lot of the common stuff. Here's a couple pieces of swag. I've got a Trails in the Sky Bracer badge, which is kind of cool, from Xseed. Some various points cards and all. Trails in the Sky map. Ys 1 and 2 Chronicles soundtrack. It's still sealed. The Catherine art book. I'm not really into swag, to be honest. I don't do collector's editions at all. The only swag I get is stuff that just happens to come with it. If it comes along, I'm not going to turn it down. It's cool. I'm just not willing to pay more for it. We're going to come down here to my DVDs next, because I don't want to end on my DVDs. Not a ton of them. Most of my DVDs, I have like 1,000, but they're mostly still in boxes. This is like all my Blu-rays, though. Yeah, that's all I have on Blu-ray over here. Those are new. I just picked up Monsters Incorporated. Pulp Fiction back there. The Star Wars trilogy, WALL-E, Inception, I actually like that a lot. Drive, Blue Valentine, that's a good one. Back up here, Silver Star Story, the booklet. I have the game over with my PlayStation games. I don't know why that's there, it just is. Here's all the Dreamcast games I've picked up pretty much since I moved out of Michigan. I have a ton more, like 60 more up in a case though up there. But this is what I've picked up in more recent times. Here's my TurboGrafx games. I only have 2 in the case, but I got a bunch more. Galaga 90, China Warriors, actually, with that case. Newtopia. That came in a lot. That was in a lot. Final Lap was in a lot. Fantasy Zone, though. Bonk, Bloody Wolf, Keith Courage, Legendary Axe, Dungeon Explorer, and heck yeah, Blazing Lasers. We'll come up top, actually, just to show you. Up top here, I have a... you can't really see it there, but that's my Master System up there. It doesn't read cartridges. It can play the onboard stuff, but that's it. That's most of my Dreamcast collection, and also most of my DVDs. I hate them being in the books, but it is what it is right now. I don't have room for them. PS1. Again, no real need for it, but it's there. Donkey Konga Bongos, they're third party, but whatever. GameCube box. I've got a couple other boxes, but they're in storage. Down to my PlayStation collection. Got, let's see, Ape Escape, Chrono Cross, The Command & Conquers, The Crashes, Diablo, Digimon World 2, Final Fantasies, Front Mission 3, Intelligent Cube's a good one, Legend of Dragoon, both winners. Nectaris is decently pricey. Parasite Eve 2, Valkyrie Profile, that's Wild Arms 2 with the rubber band around it. Xenogears. Over here we have a disc only, Resident Evil 2. Legend of Legaia, I don't have a case, so it goes in there. Suikoden 2, same thing. These two here are the 2 discs of Persona 2. I have the other disc too, it's in the other black case right there. I won't open them both up. Okay, down here we have my PS2 collection. That's a bunch of stuff I got from GameStop's recent clearance sales. Just a couple of the highlights include Zone of the Enders, Yakuza, Ring of Red, Legaia 2, R-Type Final, Metal Gear Solid 3, Devil Summoner, Wild Arms 5. I'm not picky about cases and stuff. I'd rather have them, but it's not the end of the world. I'll case them up myself eventually. Dot Hack 1 and 2, Dragon Quest VIII, Dark Cloud 2, Fallout Brotherhood of Steel. I got for $4 off Best Buy. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Odin Sphere, Persona 4, Radiata Stories, all 3 Shadow Hearts, both Digital Devil Sagas. We're going to get back here now. Nocturne, Silent Hill Origins, Star Ocean, Suikoden 3 and 5, I'm missing 4. Valkyrie Profile 2, Wild Arms Alter Code F, 3, 4, Xenosaga 1 and 3, 2's on the way. Ark of Nepishtim, Ys, Zone of the Enders, the second runner. Over here we have Final Fantasy X, 10-2, 12, God Hand, Grandia 3, Growlancer, Indigo Prophecy, the Kingdom Hearts games, you know, all the big ones. So that is pretty much it. That's my collection. I know it's been a long video, but I hope you enjoyed it. So I'll have a game room soon. God, I gotta pick those DS games back up. But thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed.